You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com. You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Good Morning Lambeau Chalk Talk edition. We're going to break down some Evan Williams this morning. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Joined alongside my good buddy Jacob the Beard up in Wisconsin on the Minnesota border. Jacob, how we doing this morning, pal?
I'm good. I got to call my mom. I forgot about the Mother's Day thing. Besides that, man, it's good. It's another beautiful day in Wisconsin, and we're going to be talking some chalk talk today. So I'm pumped, man.
Absolutely. It should be a fun episode, man. We're going to break down Evan Williams. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. Appreciate everything you do, the sacrifices you make, all that.
Actually, I bet that the reason that Emilio's not here this morning is because of Evan Williams, if I had to guess. The drink.
Yes, exactly. Exactly right. In the cup. Safety in the cup. But yeah, again, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. You guys know my mother passed away back in 2020. And I'll just say this, boy, you're not going to find a bigger mama's boy than this guy right here. She was just the most amazing person I've ever met. Selfless, hardworking, just would do anything for her friends and family type of lady. And I know we've got several out there listening that fit the same criteria. Happy Mother's Day. And Jacob, thank you for reminding me on that. It's I don't mean to sound selfish or like a downer, but since Mama passed away, it's like, so it's almost like Mother's Day doesn't exist, So it kind of escapes me every year. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And hey, make sure you hug your mama. Send her a message. Send her some flowers. Don't be a cheapskate, right? Go all out for them because they deserve it. So let's get into it, man. Let's waste no time. Let's go to Mr. Evan Williams Chalk Talk. And I've been pretty vocal about Evan Williams, Jacob, and you guys know he was a little lower on my board. I had him at 216. Goody took him at 111. And just to kind of explain, on the front side here, in my opinion, he wasn't that good or wasn't as good in pass coverage, although you'll see a couple clips on this highlight reel. His passer rating when targeted, according to SIS, he's pretty low on the list. And you've got, Javon Bullard was actually second in college football passer rating when targeted. If these numbers are correct in SIS, and sometimes the system does glitch out, it's showing that Javon Bullard's passer rating when targeted was like a 0. And it's showing 314 coverage snaps. Yards per cover snap was 0.2. So if those numbers are correct, absolute stud. And the number 13 spot is Katan Oladapo, who we took at 169. I had him 85th on my board. All right. So what it tells you, let me go ahead and climb on down here and I'll explain to you where our boy Evan Williams is on this list. If you'll give me just a second here. Played for Oregon last year. I know I seen him earlier, and he's kind of low. He was actually the third in passer rating when targeted on Oregon's team. He's 131st in college football at an 88.9. So that kind of backs up what I seen on tape. What I seen when we were putting our board together was Evan Williams not as good in pass coverage, but just an absolute stud against the run, very aggressive defender. That's why I said from day one, to me, it feels like Evan Williams is a perfect fit on special teams. He's one of those guys, safety depth, and he's just going to be an absolute missile on special teams. So I think that's where he fits in the most. But I did want to mention that while trying to find his passer rating when targeted along the way, it was like, oh, Javon Bullard, let's go. And then you see Katana Oladapo. It's like, all right, man. So, let's get right into it. Here's some Evan Williams tape for you guys and gals. We'll go full screen. You can see this, right, Jacob?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, here we go, man. Let's do this. This is a fun watch. It really is. And I apologize for the program, guys. We're in the process of changing programs too. We're going to get a real fancy one. It's just kind of expensive, going to run about $400 a year to get the program that I want. And this one has been great. It's been free. It's just called Telestrator. But it's time to upgrade it for sure. So that's just another thing that, like the Patreon members, the Patreon group, that stuff goes towards. If you guys are paying to be in the Patreon group in that community, that's the type of stuff that it's going to support, right? Is new programs, new software, new equipment, all that good stuff that we need to keep this thing rolling and try to bring you guys a much higher quality in coverage of the Packers. But nonetheless, let's get right to it. Evan Williams' first snap here is against Colorado. You guys know Colorado was a hot team at this point. They were 3-0, number 19 in the country. Oregon was number 10. Now, I know Colorado kind of fell off at the end of the year, but still made a pretty big improvement since Deion Sanders showed up there. Right here is Evan Williams, okay? He's going to be playing what I would assume would be kind of like a slot spot, right? And this is what's interesting, Jacob. You'll hear us talk about deep safety, box safety. That is the way that PFF breaks it down. Deep safety, box safety, slot. I would imagine this snap here, he's playing slot, right? Now, keep in mind, some people would kind of refer to this as almost a box. Now, a box is supposed to be inside, obviously, the offensive line, right? And kind of in this area right here, right, is what you would kind of consider a box safety. If a safety is creeping up like right here and he's outside of the tackle box, I'm still considering that a box safety. I'm not going to get too caught up in those details. But nonetheless, what he's playing here is man coverage on the slot, okay? And what they're playing is catch man. What he's going to do is kind of take a quick step, and then he's looking to catch this guy about this point here and just mirror him out, right? You can tell he's got no help over the top. The other safety is shaded to the field side, right? So he's on the closed side here, what we refer to as the boundary, the short side of the field. Now, what's going to happen here is they're going to try to run almost like a little game here. They're going to go what looks to be a slant and try to rub Evan, and then this guy's going to go deep, and underneath, this guy under that separation is just going to try to run an out route. Watch Evan Williams here, Jacob. And this is one of the few, like I said, pass snaps, right? Pass defense snaps that we've got on Evan Williams. Watch him react to this because he's going to read this. He's kind of doing that side eye to the quarterback. He's keeping an eye on the quarterback while keeping the peripheral on his guy. He recognizes the receiver here who's outside the numbers is going to kind of work inside, and he's just going to take a quick step left and make the play. Watch him react to this, man. This is really impressive. Right here, he's got his eye, bang, just outside, avoid it, boom. And you see the closing speed, man, just a natural instinct, Jacob.
Yeah, closing speed and form tackle, like we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just to watch it again, I'm going to try to do a little loop here. Again, the rolling it customized is what's messing up on this program. It makes it a little choppy, but hopefully we can get that straightened out with the new program. But yeah, just a great break, great tackle. Again, schematically sound, understood what the offense was trying to do, no wasted motion, jumped the route, made the play. All right, on this play here, he's playing what I would refer to as free safety, but this is where it gets interesting. When you think free safety, Jacob, you think of deep safety, don't you? That's what I always think of.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, in this case, the technical strong safety, this is the strong side of the formation. It's a strong right look. This will be the strong safety, but he's the guy playing deep. And right here is Evan Williams who's playing underneath. He would be the free safety, but keep in mind, they are on the boundary, right? The boundary is up here, the short side of the field. So some would say it's prioritized to say the free safety is playing the field side, but I'm still in the old mindset of wherever the tight end is, that's the strong side of the formation. So this is where you get into deep and box safety. Now, notice he's kind of lined up where you would be playing the slot, but there's no slot defender, right? So that's what I mean by I would kind of consider this. I guess it would be technically be a slot snap, but at the same time, I kind of see it as a box safety. Does that make sense, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we always want to specify those things because people, he played in the box, he played in the box, he played in the box. He's not technically in the box, but you'll see here they're going to run what we call a deep blitz. And, sometimes when guys blitz, they'll creep up here right before the ball snap and then they'll fire. Watch how he's just kind of laying back. He's laying back, right? And look how quick he closes on. I believe this is Shedeur Sanders. This is still the Colorado tape. And if I got these cut ups in order, they should go game by game last year. Okay. But watch how quick he closes. Just bang. Time to snap. Perfect. First step is sick, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Fought through a running back block and still made the play. You could tell Shedeur was not expecting him to close that quick, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, his closing speed is crazy. And, you talked about the fact that he may not be the best coverage guy, but I really am, if I could pay a penny for Jeff Hafley's thoughts as to where he's going to use this guy and how. He talked about Bullard possibly creeping up to be that maybe that weird Will/Sam hybrid type situation. I wonder if he's got like a pass rush or like a 3rd and long situational kind of scenario where he's just like, I'm putting Evan Williams in there and I'm just telling him, get the quarterback. I don't care what, just put a target on that guy's chest and be like, I don't care what you do, just go get him. And
like on the what was it, the Replacements? Go get me the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Or Tackle and Fuel from Waterboy.
I was going to say Captain Insane.
Love it. All right, next snap, still playing Colorado. Oregon's just absolutely boat racing on 28-0 here. He's going to be slot right man. All right, and you can see again down here kind of playing that slot defender, right? And it is going to be what I think is catch man, but they're going to run a little shallow cross, right? And when I say catch man, guys, there's different man techniques. Like this guy right here, he's showing press, right? Now, if he jumps up here and he smacks the receiver, that's what we call press coverage, right? If he's playing mirror match press, what he'll do is he'll have minimal, if any, contact. He's up here showing press, and as the guy goes to make his move, he's just going to flip his hips and stay in his hip pocket, and he's going to mirror everything that this wide receiver right here does, right? That's what we call mirror match press man, okay? You're not actually physically trying to reroute or hold the receiver at the line of scrimmage because you're allowed that 5 yards of contact, but you're kind of accomplishing the same thing playing really, really tight coverage. So you got press man, mirror match press man, and then you got what we call catch man coverage. Catch man is he's covering him, right? Notice he's 8 yards off the ball. As the ball's snapped, he's going to be prepared to catch him and mirror him out, right? So what's going to happen is this receiver is going to run kind of a shallow cross. He's going to try to get in behind the backers. And Evan Williams, knowing he doesn't have help up top here, right? Because the safety is so far over on the other side of the field. There may be a post safety within the picture here, but he knows I've got to protect the sideline. So you're going to see him kind of fade back, and he's going to get burnt on the underneath drag. But once again, he uses his athleticism. Watch him close underneath and make a tackle here. And again, this is a 1st and 10 play, but I just wanted to show his closing speed once again. So you see he's kind of mirroring. All right, let's go. Shoot your shot. That's a lot of ground to cover, Jacob.
Yeah, it is. Another guy that just looks like, with him, Cooper, Bullard, they all have the same situation where it's like if they make a mistake, their athletic ability and their closing speed is so good that they can make up for it. It's kind of crazy to watch.
It really is, man. And again, the NFL is going to be much, much faster, right? We all know that. There's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but what they're showing on tape, these guys are playing. They definitely Goody had a top. There's no doubt about that. Yep. He wants aggressive players this year, and I'm really excited about watching it. All right, so on this play here, still against Colorado, look at the score now, Jacob.
Yeah.
42-0. That is the definition of a boat race right there.
Prince says here, he goes, this is the game where Coach Dion started to question his own rhetoric.
Exactly. He said maybe Louis Vuitton wasn't the right bag to carry to the stadium. Yeah. But, so they're playing a little Y nub. It's detached, but it's still Y nub. All right. What we mean by nub, a nub formation is when you've got the tight end is the only player on one side of the field. He's typically attached. He's typically like right here. But if it's within 2 or 3 yards, right, of the left tackle or right tackle if this formation was flipped. I still refer to it as nub. What you say there is by saying nub left or nub right, you're simply saying the only target on that side of the field, that side of the ball, is the tight end, and he's somewhat attached to the line. He's not flexed out in a Baylor split or a wide split, right? So you got a Y nub look here, and right here is Evan Williams. He's sugar and man. He's sugar and press man, right? So it's Y nub, sugar man, and he's going to blitz here. I love this look. Now he's playing kind of the inside shoulder. They're showing help over the top here with the safety. So from an offensive perspective, if you're the quarterback and you see this, you think, okay, they're playing press out here. He's on the inside shoulder of the receiver. I might have a shot over the top. These are the things that quarterbacks process, right? It could be bracket coverage. This guy covers here. Evan Williams is going to fade to the inside. But again, he's sugaring man coverage. It's actually going to end up being a blitz. And once again, watch Evan Williams use his athleticism to get to the quarterback. Look how quick he's in there, man.
Yeah.
And again, the running back, Jacob, the reason the running back isn't protecting there is they set the protection totally assuming that Evan Williams is in man coverage, right? He's in press. That's why the running back helps on the inside with the inside linebacker blitz there. You can see they kind of brung a double A gap, if you will, right? They're firing those middle linebackers. But Evan, again, just a great job. Shedeur didn't know what to do right there. Watch him slip right here, Jacob. He's like, where did that guy come from?
Well,
and we've seen this to Caleb Williams too, didn't we, man?
Yeah, I was going to say what's even better is his, like, again, we talked about, like, he doesn't over pursue. Watch right there. His body wants to take him because he looks at Shedeur making that juke, but he overcorrects, kind of like somehow maintains the inertia he has going forward. He just kind of makes a little bit of adjustment and still makes the tackle. Doesn't let the guy, deke him out.
It's exactly what we talked about with Javon Bullard. Evan Williams knows you tackle the outside shoulder right here. I've got help inside. Those linebackers, somebody's going to get home. It's just a numbers game. But you cannot let Shedeur get outside.
Yep.
And that's why it's kind of like in baseball. If you're hitting a lot of fly balls, right, you're popping out, they say hit the top half of the ball. If you're underneath if you're on top of the ball, if you're just hitting ground balls, you're not getting, the sweet part of the bat on the majority of the ball, and you want to start hitting line drives or get the ball in the air, then you swing for the bottom half of the ball, right? It's the same exact thing. With Evan Williams here, he knows he's the only person who has outside responsibilities on this blitz, so aim for the outer half of the player. I used to get so frustrated watching guys blitz, and it's like, there's no one else on the outside of you. Like, why would you bot inside knowing that you've given up the whole field? You seem to see this, and I'm sure we'll see the same thing with Oladapo too, I hope. But with Javon Bullard and Evan Williams, they do a great job of aiming for the right side of the body in their blitz packages. And in Javon Bullard's case, it was most of the time coming down and tackling the ball carrier or the pass catcher. And like we said, playing the read option, playing the running play, those outside stretch plays, making sure you stay on the outer half of not just the blocker, but the ball carrier too. It's huge. So next play here is Oregon and Stanford. Oregon, the number 9 team in the country now. Stanford was a little cheeks last year. They were 1-3 at this point, but he's going to be playing box safety right, and it's just going to be a little run stop here. Okay, so if I remember correctly, box safety, I'm thinking that's Evan Williams right there. It's kind of hard to see, a little bit grainy footage here. Let's see what happens on this run play, though. I'm pretty sure that's Evan. Or maybe it could be him right here. No, yeah, that's him. I'm sorry. That's the box safety right. And again, some people would not consider that the box. Obviously, he's inside the offensive lineman, but maybe he isn't close enough to the line. To me, if you're underneath 10 yards and you're inside that tackle box, I kind of consider that a box safety. If you disagree, it's totally cool. Again, I try to, I try to differentiate between the two. Okay, it's either deep safety, box safety, or slot. But I would consider this a box safety position. Watch him on the run stop here. Just a great job reading, reacting. And again, he's the only line of defense right here, Jacob, as the guy makes a little cut back inside. Yeah. Great job making the tackle.
Yep. Again, look how he doesn't over pursue. He knows that he has to keep that inside cut back. And then, another wrap up form tackle. I love it.
Absolutely. And you see everyone's playing man coverage. Look at the DBs at the top of the screen. Their backs are to the ball. This is why I'm not a huge man coverage fan. That type of stuff. If Evan Williams doesn't make that play, then that's a touchdown, right?
Yep.
But like you said, once again, he protects his inside responsibility and has the athleticism to chase, pursue, and bring down the ball carrier on the outside. So, again, you notice how you're not seeing a whole lot of passing plays. It's mainly just, blitzing and run defense plays, right? And that's not to knock him. I just think that's why he was much lower on my board. As you guys know, my board is very safe. I want the guys that are good against the pass and the run. In this case, Evan Williams was a pretty good run defender, but in my opinion, you just don't see a whole lot of passing plays. Maybe we'll see a few more here before it's over. But next play against Stanford, losing to Stanford 3-0. Second and 18 plays, playing strong safety. They're going to be a zone read right, and watch him stay scheme sound and just show patience here. Okay, and when we say strong safety, obviously the strong side of the field is going to be over here to the right, strong right formation. And he's going to be playing, I believe this is him right here, if I remember correctly. All right. So they're going to do a zone read right, which you guys know what the zone read is. Yeah, it's a read option, quarterback read option. Put the ball in the belly of the running back, and you read the crashing defender. If the defender stands straight up, right, then you keep the quarterback keeps the ball and runs it. If the defender if the defender crashes in, then you pull the ball out of the belly of the running back and you run it yourself as a quarterback. There we go. You see him, patience, get in there and make the play.
We all have smartphones, and we all know they're pretty amazing, but they also can be amazingly distracting, especially when we're around other people. So US Cellular wants us to reset our relationship with our phones by putting down our phones for $5. That's right, a company that sells phones wants us to put down our phones. And to see what we find, learn more at uscellular.com/built for us. In the hobby, it's not easy being a fan of ripping packs or repacks. We get all hyped up thinking we're going to get some high-value Jordan Love card, but with zero transparency on available cards and hit rates, it's all just a shot in the dark. Until now, introducing slab packs from arenaclub.com, the only repack that provides real value, a complete view on all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Now when I buy slab packs on Arena Club, it finally feels like I know what I'm getting. And honestly, the best thing for me and my son is the fact that we're kind of novices into this. When I walk into a card shop with my son, and a card says it costs $40, kind of just taking his word for it that that's a good value. So I appreciate the transparency on grading, as well as just getting excited about seeing what you could potentially get. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/packdaddy. Wow, that's crazy offer. 10% off a $400 slab pack. That's $40 right there. Anyways, that's arenaclub.com/packdaddy for 10% off your first purchase.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com. You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
It'd be real easy to bite right here and just try to get over aggressive. But again, he stays on the outside shoulder, Jacob. You see that? Make sure he doesn't steal that gap on him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that every time that he comes in to make a tackle, it's like form perfect tackles. I mean, obviously this is a highlight reel like we always talk about, but it shows that he has good fundamentals. And I think that maybe that's why specifically Goody, they love taking chances on guys that aren't even that good, but have quote unquote skills or maybe the talent skill set to do stuff. I think they look at him and they're like, man, he's really, really good at run defense and blitzing. All we need to do is tweak maybe some parts of his game to make him a better coverage defender, and then watch out because he's got the whole package then.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the process, he could play on special teams. I'm telling you, man, everything about his game screams he's going to be a really good. Think of that new kickoff rule, Jacob, and him just being 10 yards away or whatever, however the split is there with the new kickoff rule. That's if there's a rookie that we drafted that I want to see play that, it's him. And what it kind of feels like to me is, and just based off what Goody said in the short little interview there with Larry McCarron the other day as well, what it kind of feels like to me, Javon Bullard is going to be your slot / opposite safety of Xavier McKinney, meaning when you're in a base defense, Javon Bullard will probably be playing safety opposite Xavier McKinney. When you go to nickel, if he outperforms Keyshawn Nixon in camp, you might see Javon Bullard replace Keyshawn Nixon in the slot. So when you go to a nickel set, now you may have Anthony Johnson Jr. or Oladapo come on the field, right, to play strong safety. Then if that's the case, it kind of feels like that's how things are, at least early on, are kind of falling into place. That would mean Evan Williams could really, really focus on special teams, and that's what you're seeing with the skill set here. Here's an A-gap blitz. This is really cool. I think he's technically the box safety, so he's playing right here. You guys notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, so they're really mugging the line of scrimmage. What I noticed about the way they blitzed him, Jacob, they'll keep him off the line because he's got the athleticism and the burst to get in here. So he's just kind of – it almost looks like he's going to be playing an underneath zone here, maybe man up, right, on the tight end, the Y left. So what he's going to do is just kind of hang – it looks like he may be hanging out. As soon as the ball's snapped, though, he's going to get in here and attack the A-gap. And the quarterback has no freaking clue what's going on. He is the definition of being more confused than a fart in a fan factory. Watch the quarterback and how he doesn't recognize this blitz at all, man. This is really cool.
Jeez.
Bang. Bro, he had no idea what hit him. He's like, where did that dude come from? There's that tackle you're talking about too, Jacob. Look at that form, man.
Just gonna say, every time he hits, there's like an audible thump. You can just tell. It's like, oh man, that's a strong hit. Yeah. I mean, that quarterback, he just is so quick to hit those alleys and the gaps, and then like the finishing. That quarter, he had there's nothing he could do. He literally could just maybe kneel down and just go to the ground.
Yep. He's waiting for something to develop, and it's just way too late, man. And again, it's not like he had all day to sit back. I mean, it happened in a split second. I'm not trying to dog the quarterback too much, but yeah, Evan Williams plays very, very aggressive. Next play, they're up now 28-6 on Stanford. He's going to be strong safety. There's going to be another C-gap blitz, right? Great adjustment, forces a 4th and 1. This is what I know a lot of people like to use the box cam and the all-22 and all that. I don't see any issue with using the TV copy. One or two reasons. First of all, you can pretty much see everybody on the screen right here, right? But what I like to know in these plays, it's one thing to show a play, man, look what he did right here. And then you go back later and find out it was a 1st and 18 play, right? Because a penalty happened or something. What I like is them showing this constantly. That's why I typically try to use the TV copy. I want to know down and distance. I also want to know this, right? I want to know what's on the clock. I want to know what the middle 8 is. Where's the middle 8? Did the play happen in the middle 8? Did it happen late in the 4th quarter? When you're watching the box cam and stuff in the all-22, you don't have that information on screen. And most of the time, people breaking down the tape don't specify that. And I'm not trying to dog that way of watching film. This is just the way I like to try to remove the fluff. I like to try to get the stuff that doesn't matter, that, it could have been a play. It's like on Chalk Talk, Jacob. You know how we do that every year, man. I want to know the most crucial plays. Yes, Jordan Love might have dropped an absolute dime in the bucket on this one play that got 35 yards. That's awesome. But if it was that one throw and then he had 3 straight incompletions and we had to punt, it's kind of like, okay, what did that play contribute to the game itself and the results? Nothing. So I try to get that stuff, filtered out. That's why I like to use, again, the TV copy so you get the down and distance. So this is a 3rd and 9 play. Football is very, very situational. Right? It's something that Bill Belichick really, really harped on in his time coaching in the league. So he's going to be strong safety, C-gap blitz here. Makes a great adjustment, and watch him force the 4th and 1. Whether they stop him on 4th and 1, makes no difference to me at this point. They may have went for it on 4th and 1 and got it. That's okay. What I want to know is, what did you do on 3rd and 9? How situationally aware are you? And where did you make the play? So, again, strong safety. I'm pretty sure this is him right here. He's kind of creeping up on the box, although he's outside of the tackle box. And the reason I would call him strong safety, you got your slot to the left. Pretty sure this is your H back here. So I would kind of consider the right, the strong side of the formation, even though it is technically a 2-by-1, right? But you got your H on that side of the field too. He's just not flexed out. So, again, just watch him kind of creep up here and make a play. Look at that pursuit. Bang. He saved the first down, Jacob. Look, he gets kind of and he knows where his responsibilities are too, man.
Yeah.
Right? Like he knows I'm on the left side of the field. You can't get too aggressive, but right here it's all right. Let's use the athletic ability.
Yeah, and if you look too, he engages the tackle and sheds the block and still able to get there and make the play.
Very, very, very slippery when it comes
Look
to
at that.
disengaging blocks. Something else to put in the notes there for sure. But again, I'm so impressed with it. Hey, this is a 3rd and 9 play here, man. We need to stop. If they get this first down right here, if that's on the other side of the field and you make that play, you're forcing a punt. It's important.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look at that tape, like that tackle, I'm sure got his butt reamed. And you're like, dude, all you have to do is just engage and drive. You know what I mean? Just for
Right.
a second, for 1 second. If you would have just kept that going, Evan Williams has no chance to make that play. But he was so smart, gets off the block and takes the angle. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, and what's cool though is when you say that, hey, all you got to do is drive him down the field. You got to give Evan Williams some credit here. Watch the tackle's feet.
Yeah.
Evan thumped him, dude. Evan took that tackle back.
He really did.
It's
crazy.
I bet he's going, what in the hell? What? That's a safety. How did he knock me backwards? So pretty cool. Again, you're seeing all these plays of him in the running game being aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, to me, that's what it seems like his strength is going to be. It's going to be, in the running game, like you said, design blitz and stuff like that, and then obviously on special teams. All right, here they're going with a stack left look, which is basically two receivers. And again, in college, this could be a running back flexed out here too. In college, we don't know the personnel from all the teams, so that may be the case. But they're in a stack look, and typically this is how people play these stack looks. You put one on the line to try to disrupt the timing, try to get up here and bang them, right? And then this guy is going to play catch man on the backside. So whichever one of these guys, like if he reroutes him and he goes inside and this guy goes out, then Evan Williams is going to catch him and play man coverage. All right. But the problem is they're running the smoke route here. So what's going to happen is this receiver is going to try to get in here and create a little bit of I don't want to say a distraction, just basically get in somebody's way. And this receiver is going to take a quick step forward, and then he's going to hop back and look at the quarterback for what we call a smoke route. So he's just going to kind of sit down. Watch Evan Williams read it. His eyes are on the stack. He's probably looking at this guy through this guy and trying to read the route combination, right? And watch Evan Williams attack this smoke. No hesitation. Fights through the trash there. Knows where his responsibilities are. I apologize. I went too far back there. Just really smart with the pursuit angles. And you got to give the cornerback credit there too. I don't know who it is, but he see how he shifts his position of his body, the corner. He knows I'm going to take outside. Evans got in, right? So he kind of sets the edge, and Evan does a good job not over. If Evan shoots inside right there, this guy's probably cutting upfield right there and beating that big defensive lineman up the field. Instead, he knows where his responsibility is. He knows where his help is. I'm surprised at how often that happens in college, but not the pros, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, how do you not know where your help is? It seems like these college guys, they get it more often than not.
Yeah, that is kind of weird now that you mentioned that. But like same thing we've talked about almost on all these clips. He diagnoses the play, makes a great angle, avoids like kind of getting washed out there like you talked about, and then again knows where his other teammate is, makes a play.
Mm-hmm.
It's constant.
And you'll notice the corner's trying to strip the ball, and there's nothing wrong with that. He knows he's got help. But once again, like you said earlier, watch Evan Williams, how he tackles. Look at this grip. He's not letting go, bro. So, pretty cool. All right, next look. We got another stack left. That's something that obviously Washington tried to do. They seen something in the tape against Oregon that they wanted to use a lot of stack looks. So here's your stack left look that we just talked about. Once again, Oregon's playing it the same way. Got a cornerback on the line of scrimmage to kind of create a little bit of contact, and then you're going to have Evan Williams there. He's got a little side eye. See him? A little side eye on the quarterback. He's trying to read the whole thing. He's got plenty of space. He's showing inside leverage. Remember last time the corner set the edge on the outside while Evan went in? Let's see if it's something similar. And again, it's going to be another smoke route. They seen something on tape, they be in Washington State, that would suggest they were like, hey, look, let's attack them with the smoke route. Little jab step, come back, settle in, and then make a guy miss. I guess they forgot that Evan Williams was back there because that dude, I mean, you notice too, every time they're running a stack look, Jacob, they're always putting Evan Williams over there. Probably the best tackler on Oregon's team. So I'd say that was by design. But again, here comes another smoke route. See it? Bang. Pretty impressive, man.
I mean, like the second he sees that ball, even before that, like he watches the drop. See that? He
Yep.
takes his eyes off the quarterback. He's like, all right, I know where I'm going.
Yep. And again, the corner, see how the corner plays the outside shoulder, right? He kind of setting the edge, forcing back in. Evans waiting on him. No gain on a 1st and 10 play. So pretty cool. All right, next, slot right, man coverage. He's going to get beat on the pivot, but watch his recovery on the tackle here, okay? Now, and again, slot right here, okay? And they're going to run a little pivot route. And I'm pretty sure it's pivot in, whip out, if I remember correctly, okay? So I believe what this guy's going to do is kind of show a little out route and then pivot back in, right? That's what we refer to as a pivot, okay? So as he does this, you're going to see Evan is going to get burned a little bit here in pass coverage. It's what we talked about. It seems to be his weakness. He's going to kind of drop back too far. But again, he's going to do a great job recovering and making the tackle. Another 3rd and 10 play here, you see. Tie ball game, 10-10. You're inside the middle 8, right? You've got your safety playing man coverage against a slot defender here. So here we go. Let's roll it. So you see him kind of get beat there, slips. But he does recover and still makes the tackle. So
it's like an alligator. As soon as he gets you, he doesn't let go.
And you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be too negative, but you see him in pass coverage, right? Like he kind of struggles, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's like, all right, you bought that extra moment. It don't matter. It's gone now. Like you say, his tackling ability, man, seems really, really good. Really good. All right. So for those complaining we never show the negatives, we're showing some negatives on Evan, right? He's getting kind of burnt in the passing game here. But again, great tackler, great pursuit, great angles, seems to play schematically smart, very, very intelligent in that regard. And again, forcing a 4th down right there is huge. All right. Same game. Oregon's up 38-16 now over Washington State's 4th quarter, late in the game, 3rd and 6 play. He's going to be playing safety right. Okay. Notice I didn't say deep safety because he's not really all that deep. Y-flex, it's a Y-flex pick here, okay? Slot dig, right? So the Y-flex is going to kind of run a pick route, and then you're going to have a slot dig and watch him show great bursts and force the 4th down here, okay? So when we say slot dig, I'm imagining this guy, the Y-flex, is going to get in here and try to run a little pick action, and this guy, the slot, is just going to run a dig route, right? And what you're going to see is Evan Williams just show great bursts to the football and make a play. All right, so he fades back, post safety. Look at that, bro. You know how easy it should have been to pick up that 1st down? The Y does an excellent job. Look at that. Takes 2 guys, basically, out of the play. Now watch Evan. Boom. Again, when he hits people, man, they go backwards, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. And then again, like Smitty says, he's got the gator roll. That's what he gets his hands on you, and then he just either drops the weight or rolls his body, and it's like he does not let go. Which hopefully the hip tackle rule doesn't affect that. But
yeah, it's it's kind of like what Halfley. I think it was Halfley and the guys were talking about the other day. If you make mistakes, make them running 100 mile an hour. Make them playing fast. Evan fits that role, bro. I just love the idea of him getting his start on special teams and then providing good depth at the safety position here in the next 2 to 3 years. Just got to, like I said, got to improve that pass coverage ability. But seeing the same thing every single play on tape with Evan Williams, man. All right, let's see if we can roll this back to touch here. So here's a 4th and 1 play. All right, this is really cool. So you got Oregon up 38-16, only 3 minutes left in the game, 4th and 1. So I think this is the very next play. So he prevented the 1st down just now, right? And they're going to go for it on 1st down. So he's going to be doing a seven mug right. And what I mean by that is, remember the technique. When we say a 7 tech, you find the tight end, and typically it's someone who's playing on the outside shoulder of the tight end. Now, the tight end is more of almost in a wing position. He's off the line of scrimmage, but he's still somewhat attached to the offensive line. But you can see Evan Williams is on his outside shoulder. So what he's playing right here is basically a quarterback spy. So he's mugging the 7 gap to make them think he may blitz. What you're going to see him do, though, he's going to be mugging, but he's going to back out and he's going to stay shallow, and he's playing spy on the quarterback. All right. So check him out here, man. Think about, Caleb Williams. Now I almost said Justin Fields. He's long gone, obviously, in Chicago. My heart goes out to him that another quarterback just didn't pan out in the great city of Chicago. But when you think of Caleb Williams scrambling and things like that, these are the type of things your safeties are going to have to be able to do against mobile quarterbacks. Watch how he plays this spy again while mugging the seven guy or the seven tech here. See him drop back, right? Everybody's in man coverage. You can see right here, man coverage, and what you got is a spy underneath, right? Evan Williams is spy. So right here, he already knows. All right, I know where the first down marker is. You ain't going to run it on us. Watch him.
Jeez.
You know how quick he closed, man?
Yep.
Pretty impressive, dude. So again, mugging the 7. All right, let him go. Now we're in spy. Let's go get him.
It's again between him, Bullard, Cooper, and maybe even Hopper in certain spots. These guys have an ability to go full speed and then make a change of direction, even if it's like subtle. Like they don't let their bodies over pursue. Like you see that there, that little stutter step when the quarterback stutter steps, but he doesn't stop moving. It's like he's able to adjust and react while he's still coming downhill, which is something that we have not had.
I was about to say that, Jake.
So
It feels like it's been forever, doesn't it, man?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like been Charles Woodson, maybe Jair a little bit when he was younger and willing to throw his body around. But since he got that arm injury, he's been a little more hesitant. So,
yeah. The one I always think about is Nick Collins. Nick Collins there was no wasted motion with that guy. And I'm not comparing him to Evan Williams. I did compare him to Javon Bullard, and I stand by that. But, yeah, there's just no wasted motion, playing with good technique, knowing, just the situational awareness is absolutely huge. It's like the quarterback just did not expect him to close that quick.
Oh.
Absolutely awesome. So, Evan Williams, tackle and fuel.
We got to get that as a cut.
How crazy is that, though, what we just showed you, guys? He prevented a first down on third down by breaking to the ball and being aggressive, and then he just prevented the 4th and short right after that play, right? It's important. It's important details. All right, here we are again. We got to go kind of quick. We're running behind on time. He's going to be playing slot right off. So he's got man coverage here. Once again, playing catch man, going to be ready to catch him and mirror him out, right? He's playing pretty far off the ball. You can see here. Don't get mad. This isn't Joe Barry calling the defense. This is something that happens everywhere in pro football and college. There's a game plan behind it. There's a scheme behind it. There's a reason for it. He's going to be playing catch man. Great break on the quick out, too. This guy is just going to hit a real – and he runs out of space and kind of tries to sit down on the out and watch Evan break on the ball, man. This is really impressive. So here's a good pass cover play, right? No hesitation at all.
Look at the tackle, man.
I'm telling you, dude. Watch the break. He reads it perfect. Look at the break. Gone. Now let's watch the tackle.
Just
took him back 3 yards.
Yep.
Pretty impressive, man. So there's a good pass cover play. It's just you notice you don't see him covering anything deep, right? You don't see anything on the highlight reel of him breaking up passes the way Javon Bullard did, So I think it says a lot about what kind of player he is. And again, what good coaches do in the league is they put people in position to do what they do well, right? Don't ask them to do something that they're not good at doing.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
No, everything's peachy.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
510 declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Now you draft somebody in the first round, they got crazy upside and athletic ability. They better be able to do darn near anything. But here he is playing robber now. He's going to be robber to left. So I'm pretty sure this is him right here. Great run read here. So he's just kind of rotating into the box. Everyone else is – the reason I say robber is man coverage, right? And he's spinning into the box, and he's going to – his going to be able to, his responsibility is going to be to cover underneath in this mid zone, right? That hook zone, if you will. So he's going to be playing robber left, and just watch him read the run here. So again, the quarterback's going to hand the ball off. He may keep it. No, I don't think it's a zone read. I think it's just a running play. But watch our boy right here close on the ball, Evan Williams. Great first step, man. Absolutely awesome. Went too far there. I apologize. And notice he doesn't get too far inside. He knows I've got to cover outside here, right? I got to stay on the outside shoulder. I got help on the inside. The linebacker looks surprised, like, damn, I thought I was making that tackle.
Yeah. Get the arms as he comes in to make this tackle too. Like he wraps up, man. He's very, very sound.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So another strong play. So what you're seeing the majority of the time is him playing in the box, him playing the slot, right? That underneath defender, if you will. Here he is, deep safety left, another great run read. So he can play aggressive from the deep safety spot, right? Let's roll the tape. Give me another run play. Watch his break. No wasted time. Notice how he stayed on the inside shoulder.
Yep.
Because he sees, he reads, number 2's outside. If he goes outside too, that guy cuts up field, he's gone, you know. Instead, that's the other thing too, kind of remind you of the way Bullard, watch him dip his shoulder to get underneath that tackle, Jacob. You notice that? Right here. Make sure he doesn't get washed out. See if we can go slow motion to show you what I'm talking about here. Program seems to be running a little bit better. They must know I'm about to replace our butts. But, yeah, right here it'd be real easy to kind of stick an arm out there and engage. Instead, he just dips underneath. Hey, look, I'm just going to make the play. I've already beat the tackle with my feet. So, great situational awareness, great burst, great quickness. Here they are against USC. So here comes the Caleb Williams tape. All right. Yeah, he's going to be playing Catchman 3 right here. Okay, and we'll explain what that is. Catchman 3 is essentially you're going to be playing Catchman on the number 3 receiver. When you hear us say the 1, the 2, or the 3, you start on the outside and you work your way in. That's the 1, that's the 2, there is no 3. Now on the side that Evan Williams is playing on, that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. So when I say Catchman 3, it means he's playing Catchman on the number 3 receiver. Okay, that's exactly what that means. Watch him break on the ball. Basically, this guy's going to try to run a shallow cross, right? He's just going to kind of cut underneath. And watch Evan. This is one of the rare plays that you see him playing pass. He has no help up here, Jacob, right? None whatsoever. So he's looking to make sure this guy doesn't burn him deep, but he still has the athletic ability to drive and get underneath. I believe he breaks this pass up too as he closes in on the shallow cross. So there's the shallow. Look at that closing speed. Get a hand in there.
Nice.
That's pretty impressive. That's not an easy route to cover because you've also got that rub coming up right there. You see it? Mm-hmm. The number 2's looking to kind of create a pick or the illusion of a pick. Typically what happens there, and the reason that teams do that, let me get it back here and pause it. Typically what they're trying to do in that situation, they know these guys are in man coverage, right? So what he's going to try to do is get up here and he's going to show a rub and he's trying to get Evan Williams to jump outside, right? Like, I ain't getting caught up in that because this guy's going to try to burn me deep. When they get him to jump outside, the shallow cross is wide open. But again, Evan Williams shows a lot of patience, right? He doesn't bite it, stays inside, avoids the rub, makes the play. So, pretty cool. Box left, great run read right here. So he's going to be playing in the box on the left side. I'm assuming this is him right here. All right. Inside run. It was not him.
Nope.
Let's roll it back. Didn't give myself enough description. So when you say box, this is one of those tweeners, okay? So he's obviously playing lower than that deep safety. I don't know what PFF would refer to that as. I mean, he is inside the tackle box, right? But is he down enough to be considered playing box? I would say yes. Would you agree with that, Jacob, or would you consider him a deep safety here?
Yeah, I think I'd consider that box, especially in comparison to the other safety over there.
Maybe what we'll do on the show this year, and we're doing Chalk Talk, is we'll refer to that as mid-box. That way we know there's a little bit of depth to it. You know what I'm saying? Rather than him being up in here. So anyway, watch him close. First step, no wasted motion. Straight to the ball, tackle.
Doesn't fall for the juke. And
Guess who he tackled right there, guys?
is that Lloyd?
I believe that's Marshawn Lloyd.
Yep.
Sure was. Marshawn Lloyd tried to stiff arm him. He couldn't get away from that alligator roll. Look at that. Poor Marshawn. One of the rare losses that he had last year, averaging over 7 yards a carry, and Evan Williams was involved in it. All right, now he's playing safety left. Going to be a run read spy. This is really cool. So he's going to kind of read the run, but he's going to be spying the quarterback. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second as we roll it. So you see him, he kind of read and run. Now he knows I'm going. It acts the same way as a green dog blitz, right? I think if the running back goes out in the route, it's probably going to be this backer that's in man coverage. You see everyone's in man coverage out here, right? A little bump up top. I think that's what it is. And he was just going to kind of be playing, all right, help with the run and spy your way to the quarterback. Watch how quick he closes on Caleb. Caleb tries to do his little fancy whoop. Nope. Once again, situational awareness, bro. He knows all the help is on the inside.
Yep.
Do not let Caleb get on the outside of your shoulder. Caleb even tried to throw a little spin move on him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen on Evan Williams' watch, man. He's really, if he can improve his pass coverage, bro.
He fumbled. I didn't realize it caused a fumble.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing about Caleb that nobody is talking about. He fumbles the ball like Justin Fields, dude. Bears definitely have a top. There's no doubt about it. Because I mean, he does. He see how he's just kind of what we refer to in the trailer park as holding that thing like a loaf of bread.
Yep.
Look at the ball. How he's not even protecting. He almost touched the ground with it right there.
Yeah. That's stupid.
Yeah. And again, people go, well, USC didn't have as much talent around him last year. Bro, you see more of that than anything. Caleb Williams being careless with the football. That's what gives me a lot of hope. He's got the arm talent of a young Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to BS y'all. That dude can throw on the run better than any quarterback in college football last year. The problem is he gets careless with the football. When you get to the pros, you got to play on time. You got to play on schedule. All right, here's a sugar shell right, and they're going to go robber spy. All right, so what we mean by sugar shell right, see how there's sugar and shell coverage? Two safeties up top. Some people just had PTSD from the Joe Barry defense, didn't they? This right here. So what he's going to do is he's going to play robber. This safety is going to drop deep, and basically our boy Evan Williams is going to rob. He's going to come down here to the middle, but he's actually spying Caleb Williams. You could tell the game plan was put Evan Williams spying Caleb Williams the whole game, right? So watch him rotate down. I love that jab step. See that quick jab step? He's trying to sell Caleb and the receivers on we're in shell coverage. That's what you call sugaring right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me play it on loop. Might be a little bit easier. Get it to the right spot. All right, right here. Watch him. Jab step. Now we're robbing. Now it turns into a spy. Robber, spy. Here comes Caleb. Oh, yeah, I'll make something happen with my legs. Look how quick he closes. Look at this, bro. Boom.
Dude.
Pretty impressive, man.
That is.
To go from a shell look, and again, I know people like to dog the Joe Barry defense. This is what it's designed to do. And I know it puts your DBs late to the spot sometimes, but you're immediately, Caleb sees that shell and he goes, we're not going up top.
Yeah.
And it ends up being an underneath robber with a spy. Now, the problem is I don't feel like our defenders have done a good job being aggressive on the back side of the play. It's like they just want to stay in that zone, stay in that zone, stay in that zone. You didn't see Savage do this last year, right?
Right.
So sometimes it's the players and not the play.
Yep.
Most of the time it's the players and not the play, both positive and negative, I should say. All right, here he is playing post safety. So you're going to be playing deep center field, right? Great run read, too. Watch him close the gap. You've seen this with Javon Bullard over and over and over. Look at all this space from the line of scrimmage, and watch how quickly as a safety he closes. That quick first step, bang. So another good run.
It's like the first tackle that I saw where he gives up just like a yard. Usually it's him driving the guy backwards 3 yards. This one, he just makes the play and running back falls forward for like a yard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point, man. Still just a great run fit there, man. Great run fit. All right, I think this might be the final play. Right here, he's going to be playing. This is against Washington, too. Keep in mind, guys, Oregon's up 24-20 over the number 3 team in the country here. 14 minutes left in the ball game, 3rd and 3 play, right? And watch him evade the block here. So we're box left. This is what you call box safety, right? I'm pretty sure that's him right there. So he's really in here in the box, playing box safety. 3rd and 3, 14 minutes left in the game. Game on the line. Watch him evade the block, and just an absolutely nice stick right here. Watch him evade the block. So he should be blocked, right? Watch him get off there. Boom. Now, the guy got the first down. Don't get me wrong. But still, man, he brung the thunder. And he gets off that block. Of all the people, they're not expecting him to make the play right here.
Yep.
Bang.
Man,
Hey, guys, you see his head snap, Jacob?
Oh, yeah.
Snot bubbles right there. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Just
boom.
Dude.
That's what I'm saying, man. I cannot wait to watch him on special teams. What I want to hear in training camp, Jacob, I want to hear on a daily loop. I want to hear every single day them talking about Evan Williams being just, man, he's really impressing on special teams. That's what I want to hear. He's got all the physical traits to be an impact player right now on special teams. If he gets that pass coverage straightened up, it could be someone that in 2 to 3 years you're going, yeah, hey, I feel perfectly fine if Xavier McKinney or Javon Bullard's banged up, throw Evan Williams out there. I just think that first year is going to be more about learning the scheme and getting really good at playing special teams. And, we got some good special teams players already, but I guarantee you what they're thinking too with Isaiah McDuffie, like he might be playing a little Mike for us. When I say Mike, he's not going to be wearing the green dot, but when you are on your 4-3 base, he might be that guy playing in the middle. If that's the case, then we need someone to step up on special teams and kind of fill his spot, right? And that may just very well be Evan Williams, and probably a little Oladapo too, once he's healthy. So, what's your general takeaway, man, from Evan Williams tape there?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to be honest. When we first drafted him, I was kind of like, man, I don't really see the positional value, especially because if you remember, I believe we traded up for him because he wasn't on the list of the safeties that we all were hoping, kind of praying that we'd get. Obviously, we got Oladapo, we got Bullard, so we're pretty happy there. But when I actually dive into it, like we just saw, this dude is an absolute human missile that just throws his body around. He's got 2 of the 3 aspects of what it takes to be a DB. Like, I would argue 2 of the 3, the most obviously with the DB you want is his coverage ability, but what most DBs lack is their ability to absolutely pursue the run game and to make strong physical tackles and move upfield, kind of like a linebacker. He's got 2 of those 3, like, in spades. I mean, the dude is just an absolute, like I said, a human dart. Now, if Jeff Hafley, who's, if I'm not mistaken, supposed to be like a cornerback whisperer, and specifically with teaching the fundamentals, making sure that he breaks down a game so that guys really know how to play fast. Well, what does he already do? He plays fast. So I think if Jeff Hafley gets his hands on this guy for the next, like the midseason, offseason, into training camp, we could see him mold that ball of clay into, like, I don't want to say a type of Palomalu or something like the Nick Collins, but he has the ability. If he can make his coverage game even a 70 to 75 PFF style level of play, the rest of this game is so insane that, Evan Williams looks like he should be timing the snap and jumping over the offensive lineman and making the sack. He looks like Palomalu, bro.
I love it. Hey, I'll sign me up for that all day long, man. Coach Lynn in the chat says, we all talk about Goot drafting guys with high RAS, and he doesn't draft football players. Evan Williams is a football player, and we traded up for him. It's a great point. Again, we took Evan Williams at 111. He was 216 on my board. When you trade up for a player and there's that much discrepancy between where he lands on your board and where a GM sees the value, in Goot we trust, right? If Goody thought that much of him to trade up for him, my mind went to Jordan Love, right? Traded up for Jordan Love, and people, the media had a field day with it. You gave up a 4th-round pick to take a guy that, look how it panned out. When Goot trades up for someone, typically it works, right? Hell, Ted Thompson, the first thing that comes to mind for me when he traded up for Clay Matthews, remember? So, and again, I'm not trying to compare a 1st-round pick to the 111th pick. I'm just saying, when a general manager from the Rom Wolf, Ted Thompson, Brian Gutekunst tree trades up, they're seeing tremendous. What it simply means is he's one of, if not the final players in their current top tier of talent evaluation, right? And that gives me a lot of hope for sure. Let's see here. Coach Lynn said, yeah, we call it safety down, talking about when you show shell and one safety goes down and the other rotates up top and post, turn it into a cover man or a cover 3 zone match, depending on what the call is. M. Smitty said, said it on Twitter, Williams will be the backup quarterback for the Steelers in 2028. I love it. Yeah, Coach Lynn said turned into cover 1. There it is. Exactly what we were just talking about. He said Hafley will run this for sure. The thing I think will be different, Coach, and you may disagree. It sounds like Hafley's not going to do as much pre-snap sugar as Joe Barry did. Now, when we did pre-snap sugar, we were showing 2 on the shelf, and you were trying to eliminate those deep shots right out of the gate. If you show pre-snap cover 1 or a cover 3, and someone knows they've got a one-on-one matchup on the outside and they like that matchup, they've looked at it on tape, they've been thinking about it all week long. It's what Greg Cosell refers to of elimination and isolation. You come to the line of scrimmage, you look at the pre-snap read and go, okay, let's eliminate what they are not in and let's isolate our matchup, right? Elimination, isolation. So what Barry would do is always show 2 on the shelf, but we ran the 10th most middle field close, which is typically cover 1 or cover 3, just a single high post safety. We ran the 10th most amount of that, if I remember correctly. It was right around the top 10 of the entire league last year. Everyone was, we're just playing prevent. We're playing prevent. You're not watching post snap, bub. Like, we played more single high safety than 2/3 of the league last year. The thing that Hafley's talking about being able to play fast, what I think they're doing, Coach, is they're going to go ahead and have that rotation done before the ball snapped. They might try to time it, 3 seconds before the snap. But when the ball is snapped, they want their guys in their responsibility, in their gap, whether it's the run fit or their pass cover, responsibilities. I think that's what Hafley means by playing fast. Some people hear it and they're like, oh, we're going to blitz like crazy. I just don't. He didn't do it at Boston College. And I know that's an argument as old as time that people, well, it wasn't his defense. What do you mean it wasn't his defense at Boston College? He was the head freaking coach. You mean to tell me you just hired a defensive coordinator and said, do what you want? Yeah. He's a defensive coach. So he may not have called the plays, but it doesn't mean it wasn't his defense, right? But, yeah, I think you'll see a little less too high sugar next year. United Bates in the chat said, is whiskey bourbon the play call for a Williams blitz? Hey, every time we see Evan Williams, you need to put this on the ticker, Jacob. Every time we see Evan Williams blitz this year, we need to refer to it as whiskey bourbon. I like it. It's a good code name. So United Bates,
like shooter, something like that. That probably got us flagged. No,
be careful with that. I'll tell you what we could do. Maybe we could create some merch. The first time it happens, we got to make sure it happens and he actually sees the field. Maybe we create a shirt with his silhouette and just put whiskey bourbon on it. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe a play design on the shirt showing a safety blitz, whiskey bourbon. I like it. Good stuff, United Bates. Go get the patent on that real quick, bub. Get that trademark before somebody else locks it up, all right? But, all right, let's see here. Ben Holden in the chat says, I just wanted to mention before I forget, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but 1 or 2 draft picks are going to pan out. What's your prediction? If you're saying only 1 or 2 will pan out, it's tough because it kind of varies from year to year, don't it, Jacob? There's a couple of drafts that Goody had that it was like, ugh, that was ugly. That didn't work, right? The Josiah DeGuara draft, if I remember correctly, kind of rough. But last year, I mean, how many hits did we have last year? I think Lucas Van Ness is a hit. He graded out in the 60s, and when he was on the field, he said will not. That makes sense. Got you, Ben. Ben specified and said will not pan out. Yeah, that might even be kind of undershooting it. There may be more than 1 or 2 that don't pan out, right? Mm-hmm. And I understand what you're saying too, Ben. We're showing all the highlights. We're showing all the, hey, here's what they do really well. You're right, man. In most cases, half the draft class. It's pretty common for half the draft class to not pan out. So, and when we say pan out, obviously we're referring to them. Follow the checkbook. If a team's willing to re-sign a player after their rookie contract, then they panned out. If they're willing to let them walk in free agency, they didn't pan out. Now, someone else will come in that had a high draft grade on them and try to get the most out of them. They might be more of a developmental coaching staff as opposed to, just a more of a draft and develop as opposed to, hey, let's just try to get the best players that are NFL ready now and go out and win. But yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say, don't you, Jacob? One or two of these guys. If only one or two of them don't pan out, I guess what I'm saying is, Jacob, I'd be happy with that.
If only one or two don't pan out, I mean, that means we have 9 starters or whatever it is, or 9 solid players that contribute. I honestly, I would look at it more the other way. I'd be more realistic to say, like, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of these guys will actually be, Packers in the next 5 years or whatever you want to say. That being said, I'm the biggest homer of all time when it comes to draft picks. Me and Ryan go back and forth about that, the late rounders specifically and the UDFAs. However, I do think that I think the NFL is getting to the point, like, almost where, like with the receivers, it doesn't really matter if you went to a small school. I can see a lot of these UDFAs it's just a matter of whether or not they get their shot. And we've talked about how a lot of the time, if you're in the NFL, you're a great player. You're at least a great player compared to the rest of the population. And a lot of the time, it just depends on the scenario, the situation, the coaching staff. All that stuff has to line up for them to get the absolute best out of you. I think the Packers have just made themselves an organization where the way that they operate just leads to the point of where these guys can come in and they get the absolute best out of them. They're squeezing every last bit of juice out of the lemon kind of thing. So I'm excited about it. I think that we've the coaching staff developmentally. Somebody had a comment about Donovan Jennings about how that they really kind of impressed them when they looked into it. I can't remember who it was there, but that's another one that we're sleeping on there. Also, the Trent from Michigan. There's a lot of guys that can sneak onto this team. We have so much competition. The Halfley and LaFleur, it's not coach speak. These guys literally are making everybody now sing for their supper, and I like it.
Yeah, Donovan Jennings landed 218 on my board, so I'm a little higher on Donovan Jennings than most. Seeing he's an undrafted free agent, pretty impressive. Trent Jones, you're talking about from Michigan, right?
Yep.
Lineman. He landed 247, but keep in mind, man, he played. I want to say, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but someone said something about him. They thought he took over for Zach Zinter when Zach Zinter got hurt. So you guys remember Zach Zinter? I think he played guard for Michigan. So when he went down, I believe it was our boy Trent Jones that stepped in there. So when you play on the national championship team and one that just ran the ball down everybody's freaking throat, and you step in and they don't miss a beat, that's probably what Goody's seen on tape. Like, hey, this guy, I'll tell you someone else who played for Michigan, that same thing happened. He wasn't a starter, but every time he got an opportunity, he just stepped in and did his job, no pun intended. A quarterback by the name of Tom Brady. Like, he was somebody who was on the bench behind Drew Henson, and every time that they went down big or whatever, they bring Tom Brady in, he'd bring them back for the victory, and then lo and behold, they put Drew Henson right back in the next game. Because Drew Henson had if I remember correctly, he had already signed a contract with minor league baseball, got a huge signing bonus. So he had that to fall back on. So Michigan didn't want to piss him off. They wanted to play. I'm pretty sure it was Drew Henson I'm thinking about. They wanted to play him because they wanted him to stay at Michigan. They didn't want to lose him because he had a lot more upside than this tall, lanky, kid from California that ended up going on to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Absolutely wild story. Did you watch the roast, Jacob?
I watched clips. I haven't watched the whole thing, but Tom Brady, man, it takes a lot of I don't know what the word is, patience to sit through that. I mean, I couldn't do it.
Bro, try it. Because I'm just telling you, I know you're not a politically correct person. No. If anyone who's politically correct, watch that, they are so mad. Because I'm telling you, they made fun of everyone. It gave me.
I'm saying, as Tom Brady, I wouldn't have the patience and fortitude to sit there and listen. They went hard on him. Some of the clips I saw, I was like,
it was brutal, bro. It was brutal, and he said some stuff too. But man, it was a lot of fun, man. It was cool seeing Belichick kind of loosen the tie and come out of his shell and just hang out with the guys, take a couple shots, and just it was. I thought it was really cool. Now there was some stuff in there I'm like, I would never have said that, but that's a roast, man. That's a roast. I hear people complain about it. I'm like, what? You've never watched a roast, have you, bub? That's exactly what they do. The roast are the private text threads that nobody wants to get out the public. That's what they
say. Exact. That's a great way. If you guys were to look at our group chats and some of the group chats from some of my other buddies, you'd be like, lock them up. What are they doing? How are these people alive?
What are we doing? Exactly. Oh man. Hey, let's hit this one time before we get out of here.
Thick.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Favorite sound drop, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
Real quick,
Oh, this is it right here. Coach Lynn. Gronk is out of control. Gronk just started freestyling and just randomly started cutting on people. I didn't even write that down, dude. He was hilarious, bro. And then he goes over and hugs Belichick afterwards, right? And when he goes to hug Belichick, the mic's still on. Belichick went, "That was amazing, Rob." He was so excited for him. He roasted the hell out of Belichick, too. It was great, man. What were you going to say, Jake?
I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Paul Robertson. All the sensitive people were crying about the roast. Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. I started to sit down and watch it with my wife, and her mother was in the room. I got about 2 jokes in, and I went, "This is a bad idea. We'll watch this."
Oh, I was gonna say, people ask him, they're like, Tom Brady, why would you subject yourself to that? Blah blah. Dude, Netflix paid him $25 million.
Yeah.
I think I'd sit there for $25 million and let anybody say anything they want about me or my mama. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I'll say this. I think Tom Brady comes out looking better.
Oh yeah.
There's something special happens when you're willing to make fun of yourself.
Oh yeah.
These people that they can't take that criticism, and they take themselves way too serious. I hate to break it to them, but people don't like you as much as you think they do. Everybody's walking around thinking, what are they going to think? What's that person going to think? I'm going to give you a tip. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, just like all of us are, right? And when someone it's just a natural flaw of human beings. Like we are so self-consumed that we think everyone's thinking about us at all times. Go to Twitter. My goodness. All the selfies and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, little tip of the day. Everybody's not thinking of you. Nobody's thinking of me, right? And the fact that someone can get up there and just not take themselves too serious, I think if anything, it helped his image a little bit. Now, the plastic surgery, Tom, slow your roll, bub. They kept saying he looked like a melted Ken doll. That was hilarious, bro. But he's a little too much work there. So
Also, happy birthday to Christian Watson. I saw that Mama Watson and Papa Watson posted that just now. So happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, Scoop.
Happy birthday. There you go. Doug Pointer says, self-deprecation makes you more relatable and approachable. Amen.
Remember when Michael Scott did that? Michael Scott, that's a good episode there.
It is a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Office, you can just watch it on loop, man. All right, Jacob, you got anything else, bro?
No, I won't be around tonight, so have a good show. If you guys want to go into it too, I gave Clayton an article to talk about how why the NFL delayed the schedule release and how it ties into the Packers. Hint, it's going to be kind of cool and makes for a good Christmas, possibly.
Yeah, let me. Did you send it on Twitter, Jacob?
Yeah. Also, there's a graphic there too if you guys want to hit on that. I can't remember. It's something which ties into the article about how many primetime games certain teams have had since like 2020. The Packers are number one. So,
got it. Stuff, man. Yeah, we'll probably hit on that for you tonight. I'm sure you'll be listening at work. So,
yep.
Cool. All right, guys, don't forget the autograph football, the Paul Hornung autograph football. We're going to be giving away during the schedule release show, which I think is scheduled to be Wednesday. So if you guys are interested in entering in that contest, all you got to do is be a member of our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. And we'll take everybody's name who's an active member in there of one of the 3 tiers, put you on the wheel, spin it during the schedule release show, and give that away. So Jacob, thank you, and thank you, Dad, for donating that. After that, we got some cool stuff coming up too. We got an autographed Brett Favre picture. I've got a couple autographed jerseys of Antonio Freeman, Robert Brooks, those type of players from the 90s. And then also we've got a really cool piece of memorabilia that Mr. Larry sent over. That's a picture of Brett Favre, Bart Starr, and Aaron Rodgers together in the picture in their jeans with their jersey on, holding footballs. It's a really cool shot before Bart Starr passed away, obviously. I would love to give that away to the Patreon group, but it's such a cool piece of memorabilia. What I thought we would do is try to find some kind of charity to attach to it. You know what I mean? Because I think that many people will be interested in donating. So what I'd like to do is find something. If you guys, let me just put it this way, and please no one get your feelings hurt, okay, if I say no to it, because I'm very cautious about this stuff. If you know of someone who is struggling or has like a GoFundMe or something like that we can make a little bit of a difference, it may bring in $50 extra for their cause. It might bring in over $1,000. But what we can do is try to attach that giveaway to it. Anyone who donates can be entered into the contest to win that cool picture that Mr. Larry donated to the show. I think that would just be a cool way to make a little bit of a difference, rather than just give it away to one of the listeners. We're going to continue the giveaways, but I just thought that would be kind of we're way overdue for doing something like that. We always try to kind of contribute in some way as a podcast, as a community as a whole. So we'll do that. But that being said, we're out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live with the latest news and notes around the Green Bay Packers. Let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.